still continuing with that topic of discussion for the day today. That is the African Continental Free Trade Area. Though later on, I shall be diverting a little bit into women in business, getting to see the businesses that the different women they do out there and how they really enhance profitability. Well, great things from all our viewers across West Africa, that is in Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Cameroon, Senegal, of course coming into North Africa. We have members, viewers in Rabat, Cairo, Algiers, that is in Algeria, Libya, viewing, that is Smart Business, and of course East Africa. You know, good morning, East Africa, all the way Rwanda, Tanzania, South Africa, Lesotho. We are very grateful right there. But definitely, our Smart Business, we are here, and we shall not stop to bring you these latest updates because we believe they are quite vital when it comes to your decision making and implementation at the same time. Well, I'm with Masika Time, and we're having quite very interesting discussions, which I believe an entrepreneur out there, you really need to catch them. You know me, I mean, you need to make the money and you need the information. Mercy, we are still discussing the AFCTA and the point that we had left behind, I mean, that we had discussed earlier was in matters to do for businesses, saying that you look for a good and service that is highly demanded in another country and you decide to produce it here and export it. As one of the ways. And maybe we shall also start from there, seeing that another way to benefit from the African Continental Free Trade Area as an entrepreneur, as a Ugandan, as somebody in East Africa, you are in Lesotho, you are in South Africa, you are in Zimbabwe, you are in Zambia. One of the ways you can benefit from that regional, from that continental trade is to start a business that provides services to businesses that are trading cross borders. A good example, a business that provides logistics services could actually help businesses to transport their goods across borders much more efficiently. Logistics, one of the business, because as there is excessive movement of, you know, goods from one country to another, because now actually there will cease to be countries, there will be states, from one state to another. There is a service. So you can start up a business that is actually aiding businesses to transport their goods and services. You could be in Zambia, you start up a logistic company, and this company will be very vital to transporting goods to Egypt and so many more. As long as, like we said earlier, the available, the necessary infrastructure is put in place. That is aircrafts, railway systems, and even secured road transport network.
Even by water.
Even water. But water, I think we could only have the river. Anyway, now for the coastal countries like South Africa, you can you can be able to go to North Africa. You go to Cameroon, you know, because you go to the borders. That would be quite favorable.
Do people do use cargo? In most cases, do use cargo because it's it doesn't, okay, much as it may take some while compared to you know, air and all, but some do use water transport. Okay, because they're more safer there.
Okay.
But anyway, when it comes to African Continental Free Trade Area, people have to really have a much understanding of what it is. Before we go any further and telling them, infrastructure, you have to position yourself in logistics, they have to know. We want to know, that one who sells tomatoes, that one who does the water, and what is it that they're going to benefit from the end of the this person that has a whole acre of matoke plantation, how is going to be beneficial?
Actually, this is what we're talking about, because once you discover a demand in another country, like, okay, that will take me back to the first point. I'll definitely, first of all, if I know that in Zambia they want matoke, like what you've said, I would come to look for all the people that are growing matoke, that are probably looking for a market, and now tell you, hey, I've seen a market in here. That's why I said. That's like I said earlier, if we have the necessary infrastructure to transport some of these products to that market centers or to those stock centers where they should be picked and either exported to other countries.
Now we know that.
So they will be able to be.
Now in Nigeria they consume plantain. we could use that as an advantage because they do plantain.
We grow plantain.
Go plantain. So
exactly.
if you know your market, if you have some people there, that is why it's good to travel once in a while. So you go there.
As a business person, I mean, you shouldn't wait for
events.
Conferences, summits in those countries for you to think about. Initiate it fast. Of course, it's a little bit challenging, but like I said, if you come as a voice, Recently, we were with some time back. There was Casita. I think there is CAFO, Kampala Kedas, then and Otea. These are trade organizations within the representative group of traders within the city center. They managed to secure a market in Djibouti. But how was that possible? They had to move out there. I mean, link up with trade associations in those countries in that way. Before you know it, that is there. And they realized that actually there is a high demand for Hass avocado. Huge demand in there. So I using such an initiative. They didn't wait for state officials or the ambassador to go and establish something. They definitely have to go in for it. So that's what I'm talking about here. You know, yeah, businesses, I mean, identify that. Well, away from that still, for the people into the fintech, I believe this is also quite a great opportunity to position yourselves, because the more the transaction, we shall have cross-border transactions from Uganda to Egypt, that we shall need new innovations to such that we don't have so much traffic on the existing exchange platforms, you know, which there is need. So Africans, I mean, if you're in Zimbabwe, you are in Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire, I mean, Ethiopia, think about innovative solutions, most especially when it comes to financial technology, because a lot of money, I mean, we're talking about $3 trillion GDP, combined GDP, I mean, all those countries, and this 3 trillion is transacted within this continent. I'm talking about a population of about 1.3 billion people transacting that. So that means we shall need to have extra platforms that can actually do these transactions. So the fintech space is quite virgin. It's quite virgin for people. If you want to make money actually in Africa, from that perspective. Now, Africans can also position themselves to benefit from the African Continental Free Trade Area by developing their skills and knowledge. A good example here is a person, I mean, being a multilingualist, a person that speaks quite a number of languages. You could be on high demand by businesses that are trading across borders, and also teaching opportunities. You can be able to teach in other nations once you know their language that actually unites that nation, and also being able to translate for business people across. So right now, I understand if you're 30 years and above, or 35 years and above, it might not be easy for you to get a language on the spot, because this is something that is really demanded. But anyway, that doesn't still, you can't learn. You can really give it a try, but of course these are scientific facts in some sort of a way. But for an aspiring African out there, you are in some university in Cairo, you're pursuing a certain degree. Think about, I mean, most especially if you're very, very passionate about business, I mean, study extra languages away from the Arabic, you know, the Egyptian languages that you're speaking in there. Try to really understand other languages. This is going to actually create a distinction between you and other traders, and in that way, you can actually benefit from the African Continental Free Trade Area. Yes, so I think those are quite of the basic aspects. Have knowledge, learn languages, start businesses that can aid other businesses to transact. I mean, other businesses to transport the goods from one state to another, and also invest in goods and services that you feel are of high demand in another country. You will be able to make money. Well, Mercy, away from that, women in business. Last Friday we had discussions similar to this, seeing how different women are participating into these businesses, and
we saw the percentage of which women are participating in
from informal sector, formal sector, and so many
I
perspectives.
like the fact that when it comes to trade discussions and if there are summits and conferences, a lot of women are really participating. It's quite amazing. In the majority, like 65% of them are women.
Exactly.
Are women, because now they've gotten the whole aspect of of maybe independence, equality.
Yeah.
So they are really out there. They're trying as much as they can to make sure they bring something on the table, like most people say, bringing something to the table. Bringing
What are you
something
bringing to the table?
Yeah, what are you bringing to the table? So, well, of course, conversations regarding women in business, women entrepreneurship are still ongoing, and of course, we had a time to discuss with very few women to see their progress in the different industries, in the different sectors that they're well concentrated in. Because when a woman has really grasped where her strength is, they push on. They push till they drop.
Yeah,
they have that.
They will definitely do that.
Yeah, they'll definitely do that, because now you're a mother, you're a wife, you're definitely. There's also that responsibility at the end of the day that really drives them to push. Although I would love to see women in the rural areas do the same, empowering other women. These women also empowering the ones, those that are relying on their husbands at the end of the day to bring food. If your husband is not around, at least do something. Go to the banana plantation.
Okay. Very, very rightly said by rightly.
If the kid's uniform is torn, what have you done? Have you thought through that maybe you need to get a needle and a thread to sew, and maybe now that you have that technique, how about you do it? Get a sewing machine, learn something, so that at the end of the day you don't have to rely on another party.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess for now, let's have this discussion and breaking down further what women really perceive about business, and definitely Jessica Sumba.
Thank you for staying tuned to Smart24, where we drive business, and we're here at Pivoting in Heels. Pivoting in Heels is a coffee book that you can put on your coffee table that celebrates 60 women who have inspired, who have pivoted, who have rocked and managed to make things happen, not just in the business space and in different spheres of their lives. It gives me a great pleasure to welcome on Smart24 today none other than Mrs. Patel. Mrs. Patel, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much.
What do you do, Mrs. Patel?
I am Mrs. Falguni Patel.
Yeah.
I'm a chairperson of Indian Women Association.
Yeah.
We are an NGOs. We do believe to do charities for needy Ugandan students, women's, sports and health centers. Especially our motto is like we give school fees per year 100 million to Ugandan needy school from primary to institutional base. Then we do believe in sports, and we do so many medical camp in like we did in Bale, Kaliro. Last year we did in Barara for 4 days with the tie-up with Minister of Parliament, Mr. Dixon, in his tenure.
Now, I just want to know from you, Mrs. Patel, the work that you do is very important, not just because you do it for the sake of doing it. You do it so that it can improve the lives of Ugandan people.
Yeah,
how have you seen it improve Ugandan lives?
Like improving, we have to support them where they need our help. Especially yesterday we went to one Hope Care Center in Kawempe. The kids, they are treated for the cancer, HIV, they are born and brought up like very small babies. So we motivate them to just support by food and everything, so they can, that is our motto, to support especially Ugandans. Yeah.
Now, when you support people in their societies and make them relevant and peaceful within their society, a lot happens because you foster a good business environment for them to achieve what they need to achieve. That is important work, don't you think?
Yeah. And we do our charities on sponsorship.
Yeah.
Some we are using our own funds, and some we believe to bring the sponsorship from the corporates.
Yeah.
And they do help us. Recently, we built 3 blocks in Salama Blind School in Mukono.
Oh,
Yes.
that's very good.
Recently.
Now, you're featured in Pivoting in Heels. Why do you think you were featured in this book? You as a lady.
Yeah, I was a lady, and I want to empower the women to join in all field where they can.
Where they can.
Yeah.
Do you find it difficult for women to balance from one area to another?
Yeah, so many times it happens. So, but we can balance, but not that much as fast we can. But we have to balance everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mrs. Patel, what would you like to see being done by the business community for the work that you're doing? How can the business community support your work?
Like business community, if we go to like our events, especially we are doing our yearly event signature. So that time we go with for the donations with the fundraising event as a like good cause. We already did in Kitebi Health Center 3 phase in past years, 6 to 7. Okay. We did Kitebi Kitsubi Tom School. Refurbish it.
Okay.
Yeah, so we go to sponsors, we put our proposal, and they help us in a small base to bigger site.
Okay. So most importantly, Mrs. Patel, in the next few years, where do you think your NGO will be? How many people do you think it will have impact?
Already we have our Indian Women Association registered by 650 members.
Ah.
Yes. 250 are life members, rest are annual members.
Okay. And do you get support from other bodies outside, outside
Indian
the country?
Some not outside countries, but Indian community, they support each other everywhere.
Yeah.
Like as I told you, corporates and big business. Yeah.
Mrs. Patel, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Same here, my pleasure too.
Mrs. Patel has been talking about the NGO that she works on, that she is a chairperson of, the Indian Women's Association. The Indian Women's Association that's doing commendable work here in Uganda.
My team works very hard.
Yeah.
We are 12 in a committee and we have a board of trustees for 5.
Okay.
And we work very hard for each and everything. Unfortunately, today everyone is not present, even myself, I am traveling, but I make it because our festival is on for 10 days, so we have to attend that one also.
Special thank you to Mrs. Patel and the great work that the Uganda Women's Association. Yeah.
Thanks to Ms. Rimi Male and Ms. Rima. I came through that.
So much for being part of Pivoting in Heels. Thank you for the work that you're doing as Ugandan Indian Women's Association, and the work that you do in order to build a firm foundation for Ugandan people to have a good foundation so that they can do good business. Thank you for watching.
Discussions in right there, of course, taking a look at women entrepreneurs. Well, for now, we're going to take a short break, and definitely when we return, we shall still dwell into the discussion still about women, though briefly we shall hint still on the African continental free trade area.
Smart24, driving business.
Jovia. Ng'oyolekera ku lugendo luno olw'obulamu, nkuwa ekirabo eky'amaanyi agatazizibwa, amaanyi okulabibwa n'okuwulirwa mu mawanga ag'ewala ennyo, okutuuka buli wamu nga yadde togenzeeyo, ensi yonna ng'ekuli mu ngalo. Okutambula mu biseera